Where you been, Justin? I don't know. Where have you been? Let's talk about that right now. Well, it's another fine day in Justin's joint, where today we get to talk about a couple of things that are not very important, but it's been a while since I put up a video. I tried to make one, I don't know, last week, and it just turned out way too long. So I decided to abandon that video and just make another one at a later time. Now is that later time, and it's very exciting because I got a couple of things going for me. I've got some sweet Killarney from Peterson. This was the last tin available at Jerry's downtown. I got some Rat Ray's Summer Edition 2015. It's an interesting blend that now I'm using the tin to store stuff in. But what I am gonna smoke right now, let me think, is that everything that I have? I think that's everything. I think that's everything, guys. Stick with me. But what I've got right now is Wessex Gold Brick. So we're gonna have a look at this real quick. We're gonna load up a pipe, head outside, sit down and read for a little while. I don't know, we'll figure something out, but stay tuned. Let me get set up and we will get this tobacco smoking going.
2 hours later.
Alright guys, it's a little wobbly and I apologize for that, but we're just gonna have to deal with it because this is the setup I got right now. So Wessex Gold Brick, that's what we got right there. It's plug tobacco. As you can see, it's a nice dense plug too. I mean, this sucker is nice and dense. Let's see if I can get a good, really good shot here. Come on, focus in. The layers in this. I mean, you can't. It's really hard to get this camera shot is not doing this justice. This really is a very solid block of pure Virginia. So what we're gonna do is, or at least I'm gonna attempt to do it, since it's a plug tobacco, you have to slice it with a knife. So we're gonna just do that right now. I'm gonna try and do this. And this is a very dense tobacco. Again, apologies for the wobble. So I'm gonna get this nice and far back on here. Probably don't want it quite that thick. And we're just gonna run it down, right down through there. I'm gonna have to come to the edge of the table here. I'm gonna have to go off camera here for just a second. And you're getting some wobble. And I'm sorry about that again. Okay, but here we go. Whoop. Cut this guy right there. Okay. So, nice clean cut. You know, the knife is fairly sharp, so it cuts nice and clean. So we're just going to take this and stick that back down in the jar. Now then, what we're left with is a nice flake. And I like to cut these somewhat thick a little bit. And it's a little bit on the moist side, but it really is not terribly bad. So we got it sliced. Let's give it a quick sniff and load her up. All right, you'll have to bear with the noise in the background. The 3D printer is running. So here's our flake of tobacco, and it's just straight Virginia tobacco. There's a whole bunch of different lighter and darker colors in there, but it's really kind of a no-frills tobacco. It gives you kind of a it is your typical. Hang on a second. It is kind of your typical Virginia tobacco, in the fact that it smells like a hayloft in a barn. You know, you get that really, it's not grass, it's hay. It smells like hay that's been sitting around, so it smells like hay and dirt, like an earthy hay. Maybe a little bit of manure. But in a good way. I mean, it's like you walk into a barn and you're like, yeah, this is a barn. In a good way, not like, ooh, this is a, you know, I mean, some people, I guess, wouldn't understand how a barn can smell good, but as a guy who grew up in Kansas, I can understand how a barn might appeal to somebody. And that's really the essence you get from this tobacco. Look how amazing. This is the cut side. The cut side is really super smooth and shiny. It's a nice thing. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and put that back in the jar yet again, and then I'm gonna rub this flake out because I tried smoking some of this last night, and what I did, rather than rubbing the flake out, that smells really good. A little bit of fruitiness too, you know, like, I don't know. Raisin, maybe. Mostly grass. No, mostly hay. Mostly barn. And hooves and stuff. All those things that manly men like. But anyway, I tried to just cut it up into cubes last night and smoke it, and that did not work as good. It actually didn't work very well at all. So tonight I'm going to be rubbing this flake out, and I'm going to be smoking it in my church warden. And I'm going to sit down and read some Plato because, you know, hey, I guess if PewDiePie's gonna read Plato, so can I, right? I mean, you know, if a 9-year-old can read it, surely a 39-year-old could read it. Maybe. So, anyway, let's get this rubbed out, let's get outside, and let's blaze this up, and let's finish this video. Alright guys, we're back outside. I've got this pipe smoke maybe a third of the way down now. And get a relight. Oh yeah. So this gold brick is a no-frills Virginia tobacco. Now, what does that mean? It means nothing other than the fact that if you don't like a no-frills tobacco, you probably won't like this crap. You know, what can I say? I mean, it's a Virginia, straight Virginia tobacco. I find it actually kind of nice, and unlike some other Virginias, however, this one I've smoked almost half that brick, and I have not noticed a tendency for it to bite at all. You know, it doesn't do the typical Virginia tongue bitey thing if you puff on it too hard. Of course, I suppose if I tried real hard I could get it to bite me, but don't mind my glances down that way. We're doing some leash training with the puppy, and she don't like it.
Did you not eat?
Yeah, we ate.
How were they?
Good. Nobody was really hungry. Your dog shat in her crate. Alright, but like I was saying before I was interrupted, the Gold Brick here is a no-frills Virginia tobacco. Doesn't tend to bite too much. It's just a smidge on the wet side, so when you cut it, it might need just a little bit of dry time. Straighten this guy up a little bit here. Might need a little bit of dry time, but you know, if you're careful with the way you pack it and don't get it in there too tight, it's probably fine just to rub that flake out and load it right up and smoke it. And you know, the thing that I do like about this is that it does change characteristics just a little bit as you smoke it down. You know, you'll start off with one thing and it just kind of morphs into something else. Like I'm about halfway down the bowl right now. It's, you know, it's kind of sort of started to take on a little bit of a different character. I mean, the hay loft is still definitely there, but there's something different. You know, as it burns down, the nicotine and all the stuff and whatever kind of commingles down, and just the way that it is, it just kind of changes a little bit, which is nice. So, the next order of business is I'm gonna start reading this. Supposedly it's a fairly decent read. I guess we will find out. It's been a while since I read a book, like at all, and figure it's time, you know? So I figure I'd break out the Church Warden and read a little Plato. This is actually the first book that I have purchased. That I can remember. I don't remember buying a book. So this is like the first book that I can really remember buying. So we'll see. You know, I'll read it and it'll go in the bookcase, and probably never read it again. But then I could say that I did it. And you know, I mean, honestly, look at this. It's not super. It's not super thick. The text is a little on the small side, but you know, it's the pages aren't too thin, so I think it'll be all right. It's not like you know, it's not like some other books where, you know, the text is like really large, so that it's just a super fast read. The pages are really thick paper. So, you know, you get a thin book like this, and then it goes really fast. But it's also not like a Bible where the text is really small and the pages are like way thin, like film. So it's kind of it's kind of a happy medium. So I do not think this will be too bad. I don't think this will be too bad. And you know, I think it's kind of cool that I'm about to read something that was written 300 BC, I think. I mean, this is really old. Let's see. Let's see if it says, if it gives any information here. Yes. It says it is thought that the Republic was written circa 380 BC. So we're talking almost 400 BC. So we're talking like 2,500 years ago almost. So, you know, just again, I mean, this is almost as old as some, you know, biblical stuff, which is kind of weird to think about that, but you know, I don't know what I'm in for. I don't know that there's a, yeah, I don't know what I'm in for. We'll see. So I guess I'll have to give you guys some updates as I make it through the book there, but yeah, that's about it from Justin's Joint tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and enjoy this nice weather on a windless evening and finish this bowl of Wessex Gold Brick and start the old book there. So until next time, right here in the Joint, we will see you guys later. Peace out.